roundabout areas and traffic stops.
Do you have to be quiet, or can you listen to the music while you're...
Okay, we're going to get started here. Welcome everybody to West Bath Candidates Night. We have two positions that we'll be voting on November 8th. We have the school board. We have two candidates here for one seat on the school board. Isabella Werner and Nathan Briggs. And we have three folks running for one position on the select board: Mark Travis, Suzanne Andresen, and Tim Davis. Mark and Tim are not currently here. Maybe they'll show up a little bit later. We're going to start with some introductions, and then we'll roll into questions for the candidates. The questions can be for either school board or select board or both. And I think we'll just start with some introductions and go from there. We'll start with the school board. Nathan, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us why you're interested in running for school board?
Sure, my name is Nathan Briggs. I've lived here in Bath for about 8 years, since 2013 or so. I have two boys that one is in kindergarten and one is 3 years old, so we'll be in kindergarten eventually. So with the future of my kids being in the school, I thought I could help out the school by investing in the future.
Hi, I'm Isabella Werner, and I lived in West Bath for 6 years, but 3 years in Bath prior, and I'm a senior accountant supervisor at CEI in Brunswick. I manage operational accounting duties, supervise for people. Anyway, why I'm interested to run for a board is my daughter went to West Bath School, and she talks about West Bath School all the time, and she is a junior in high school right now. She says it's like the best school I ever went to, and she went to New York City public school, Bath school system, then West Bath, and then in Bath as well. I think I want to run. I'm very interested in what community wants for the school, what, especially when the new contract is winding down next year, because the 10 years is coming to the end. So I'll be interested to put my input, my knowledge, my skills, making right decisions for the community and for the kids and the parents, and be aware of their options for the future for the kids. And I believe school of choice is great for my daughter, and not every child learns the same way, and sometimes choosing a different school because a different abilities of learning, it's a great option for the parents. So I would like to be part of it and get to know more parents in the community. And yes, thank you.
Thank you, Isabella. Okay, Suzanne. Suzanne Andresen is the incumbent on the select board.
Hi, my name is Suzanne Andresen. I'm running for re-election for the select board. I very much enjoyed the past 3 years working with the community and look forward to continuing that process. We've helped move some things forward for the community, getting Comcast to agree to put in internet for those roads that are lacking service. I was actively involved in getting that approved, and we're working on having that installed, but also making sure that we answer all the community's needs and working with what they need and what they're looking for, making sure we balance our budget, stay consistent with that, with the economy where it's heading. I want to make sure that everyone feels comfortable in how we're spending the town's money. That's important.
All right, thank you, Suzanne. We'll open it up to questions. When you ask a question, please introduce yourselves for the record. Who has a question?
Nathan, you said, I'm Jane Weir, sorry, live here in West Bath since 2007. Don't have any kids in school, love the school though, and the staff that we know particularly. but you said you had one child and another one coming up. Do you have any particular programs at this elementary school that you think are particularly important, or you like particularly, or anything you'd like to see introduced?
I do try to, I ask Evan, my son that is in school, what did he do today, and it's usually hard getting something out of a 5-year-old. He runs to the school every day. Since September when he started, he couldn't be happier. Yeah, I mean, the curriculum that they're going with is right at his speed. I was able to work over there for 2 days, and everyone there's a saint. I couldn't imagine. I don't think that working directly with the young group is definitely a unique set of skills. But I mean, I understand all kids learn at different speeds and different ways, and it seems from at least my son's experience that they're covering all those bases. From music to art to basic penmanship, he seems to be catching right on with what they're teaching. So, no, I haven't seen anything yet, but I usually don't even get a wave goodbye. He's already in the door. So he truly loves going across, and the teachers have been extremely helpful for whatever he needs.
Anyone else?
Can I add to your thing? Because I remember when Maddie was there, she was so amazed because the learning was there hands-on. And not everybody can just pick up a book and read and know it and understand it. It was the teachers who were just so wonderful, teaching her like hands-on and understanding how she learned math, English, and the program that actually your son's gonna love is the building the boat. It's like, and the model of the boat is hanging in my house too, the stool, and then the ceremony of the kids, the satisfaction them going on that boat and just like roaring, and I still have that video. So.
Madeline.
Hennessy. I've been in West Bath all my life, fortunately it's long. The part of the responsibility of being on a board is both to work with the administrators and sometimes to challenge the administrators. Nathan and Isabella, how do you see yourselves working in those kinds of conditions? What's your approach to disagreement with an authority figure, for instance?
Okay. I deal with this actually on, I won't say regular basis, but I work directly with CEO and president and CFOs dealing with certain situation that, the CEO says one thing and you just have to present it. You can't just say, no, you can't do that, but you have to have a case why you want to change it, right? You have to have explanation. So it's not approaching saying no, it's just how you deal and have explanation why would you like to change it, or why is this not going right. So, doing reviews with my employees, too, you have certain critical things that you want them to improve on something. So it's the way how you're gonna deal professional way, we're not perfect people. I don't do everything perfect, it's just the way how you deal with it and present it.
I was able to coach for 14 years between football and lacrosse through Freeport, and got quite familiar with the CCC rules and regulations with athletics. When there was some sort of disagreement between coaching and parents or coaching in other teams, I'd work directly with my athletic director between waiting 24 hours. If there was some sort of issue happen, wait 24 hours, let emotions cool, figure out the facts, write it all out, get it at least documented. And I was able to work with him a handful of times through the 14 years. So I think a chain of command is a highly effective manner. And if they're, make sure all facts are out and not with no emotion involved or behind it. Would be my way, I guess.
Other questions? Jane?
Jane Morgan. Are you both, either one of you, living in an area of West Bath so that you have other kids in your neighborhood that are going to school, or are you more isolated from other kids and other parents that you can talk to?
No, I do, actually, Lexi is my neighbor, and she's got kids. I do have a friend that actually works for school, so I know the community, and yes, I do live with a bunch of kids, like, I would say there are like 6 of them. Actually, one is moving in soon. I don't know, no, it's skipped, she's gonna be in middle school, I'm sorry. She's not gonna have the pleasure to go to West Bath School, but yes.
I actually live directly across from it. Like the greenhouse or the farmer's porch is my house. And so my very first day moving in 2013, I heard a roar of noise and I didn't understand it was all the kids going to recess. And so in getting signatures to apply for this, I actually got to meet a handful of families around the road, and definitely was able to connect with a handful of them, all having the same age kids. Evan was able to do the pre-K at the YMCA, and then even roll forward to meeting some of those kids. So I definitely I was a stay-at-home dad for 6 years, and reconnecting with other parents with kids all the same age has definitely been very helpful, and really looking forward to meeting new parents who have the same age kids. Yes, sorry, I'll answer that.
Yes, Bob.
Bob Weir. Suzanne, what's the biggest challenge of the West Bath Select Board going forward?
Biggest challenge, there's a couple. I'm going to say getting through the reevaluation process. That is on the horizon. We want to make sure that as we go through that, people feel that it's been addressed fairly. When we're working on the comp plan, bringing the community forward with that. And I think it's important that we do it with as little pain that goes along with that, and try and make sure everyone feels that they were equitably addressed in that process.
Jane Weir again.
Somebody else said it.
Yeah, I mean, it was somebody else. In the comp plan, there has been a section addressing interaction of the school with the community. Do either one of you know about that function, or what's coming up there, or what was said?
I do.
Go ahead, Suzanne.
I don't either.
I know that we're trying to, the school is looking to engage more so with the community, maybe having some opportunities to visit the school or hold events there. I know that they're looking at bringing that forward. And that's some of the things we talked about is keeping the community engaged, but maybe using that as a facility for us to connect with.
Anyone else? Questions, comments?
So I guess I have a question. So I'm Angel Jameson. I live on Sunset Lane in the community known as Sabino. And so I wish both Tim and Mark were both here as well to help answer this. I believe Tim is one of the plant diggers down to Sabino. I think Mark lobsters, in addition to driving a bus. I'm not sure where he lobsters out of. But my husband and I are probably, well, and Suzanne, you know this, and Isabel, we're the only folk on our stretch of road, and even into Gull's Way, that we're the only folks that have, that are ultimately like Maine natives. And so with everything going on currently with the lobster stuff. And full disclosure, my daughter is working towards her apprenticeship for lobstering. She's going to turn 17 in January and we can file for that. One of the questions I have ultimately first for you, Suzanne, because you're the one here. How do you expect to try to support, or if you do, Maine's working local waterfront and access those areas in West Bath and balancing the neighbors, that sort of thing? Or I guess really my question is probably more focused on how do you anticipate trying to support local access and working waterfront stuff going on?
That is definitely a loaded question. What we're finding in West Bath, in anything that we do, it needs to be enforceable. Much of our ordinances that pertain to Sabino actually are not. And we have to now go with a MOU, is it MOU? To request the sheriff to engage. So part of that, we're working through that right now, which includes parking, permitting, time of access, all those pieces. Working waterfront is terrific. I'm actually for that. I don't know how to manage that piece. That access, all the current accesses that we have in West Bath have a pro and a con. There's no parking in Sabino, but it's an ease of access. There's plenty of parking at Bull Rock, but it's far away. So as we work towards that, we need to find a solution that addresses everybody's needs. And I don't know what that is right now. We do have, potentially other land. West Bath does own 27 acres on the coast that we need to, potentially take a look at and turn that into some sort of recreational access point, potentially. It actually abuts the clam flats. That may be an additional strategy. I don't know how to address the access, the parking, the neighbors. We are all working towards that. I just don't know what the answer to that is at this moment. And how to make sure everyone feels that it addresses it.
Jane Weir again. You brought up a good point about the lobster controversy now. Is there any way that the town of West Bath can address that publicly to support the lobster industry in Maine? Another voice toward that?
I'm sure there's a way that we could do that as a select board. I don't know how we would manage that collectively as a group. I don't know what the program for that would be, but I'm confident that the current board, we all believe in the working waterfront.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like something for the comp plan.
They could all eat lobster.
Have a weekly lobster dinner. We have a great room. I know, I'm gonna put in charge today.
You're the chair.
Right, gosh.
Any other questions or comments? Yes.
I'm Mark Linsick. I'm formerly of Parkswell. I just moved to West Bath a little over a year ago. So much of this is new to me. I know that there's been a discussion in previous selectmen meetings about ways to, I guess, enhance business opportunities here in West Bath. I'm just wondering if you could tell me as a newcomer what some of those discussions have consisted of, and if there's any planning going on to try to make it easier perhaps for new businesses to move in, and maybe provide some sort of overall planning structure for that so that you don't just end up with them. One of the things I've noticed, or my impression of West Bath, is that certainly compared to some other towns, it seems to lack a physical center. you know, where people can go and feel that they're part of the community, and businesses certainly help to enhance that. And I'm wondering if those sorts of discussions have taken place, and if you're moving beyond discussions to any kind of long-range planning.
So one of my additional opportunities, responsibilities is I sit on the planning and zoning and the planning board. We've had a lot of discussion about that. We've changed and improved and enhanced some of those strategies that go with our business park. Unfortunately, we don't have a main street that a lot of towns have. We don't have the retail components to that really feed to what you're talking about. But we are, you know, we helped to open up strategy for that business park. There's a lot of plans that the current owner, one person owns the majority of that place. And he's got some terrific ideas on how to bring business into there. I look to him to, you know, potentially create something similar to what you're looking at. We don't, you know, it won't be on a main street, but it will create, you know, certainly revenue for the community, but also an opportunity to really create an area.
Yeah. I'm sorry, where would that be located?
I don't know where it is in the map to explain it.
Oh, that's okay.
It's a business. There's a business use park. It's kind of over by where if you come in through the Bath High School, down through there and off in that area.
I see. Okay, thank you.
But there's no access through one. That would kind of be. I don't think that'll ever happen, but it's certainly an interesting strategy. But he's got, I think, 8 parcels in there, if I'm not mistaken. And he's talked about, you know, potentially even putting in a tasting room or something out there. So creating what we've seen in other communities, perhaps there.
Well, and isn't that partly what we're thinking about with the school participation in the community being a place where certain events could take place, or, you know, maybe focus primarily on kids or something, or family things that would be more of a center type place for some activity.
I know that was one of the things that I know Emily's here somewhere. That, you know, it's something where the school could become an environment. I mean, they do some great things there now with their gardening and things. You know, maybe we could do that where the kids garden with some of the adults. You know, bring in a collective approach. From that perspective, there's the facilities there. I've definitely gone to some craft fairs there. I'm sure guidelines. It has to be when the kids aren't there for safety reasons and whatnot. So I don't know how that would work to open that up publicly. But it seems like a good location to house some opportunity for that.
Any final questions?
We're going to read questions.
Yes, I have a few questions that I need to read as well. Thank you for that reminder. So I have a couple of questions for Suzanne. They're from Susan Montgomery.
I'm actually here. I thought I wasn't going to be able to be here.
Yes, would you like to ask them?
Candidates, it doesn't
Would you like to ask them, or would you like me to read them?
You can read them, but, you know, I sort of know where Suzanne is coming from. I didn't know about the other 2 candidates. So.
Okay, well, let's put the questions out there and let her respond to them.
Should I change seats and give it a
The first question is, how would you resolve the current discord between Sabino Road residents and clamors who use the landing? And then the follow-up question is, what are your thoughts about the recent vandalism at the landing?
So I want to, the vandalism, is that what was done on the stonework?
I don't know what to call it. Yeah, the thing with the jackhammer.
So I don't know how many of you people know what that piece was. An individual went down there with some, say, earth moving equipment. I'm not sure what exactly it was, but decided and granted themselves the permission to widen the access down to the landing. which is, I don't know what protocol is, but I know anything on the waterfront requires a DEP permit for starters. I don't know what or how that's been addressed. Certainly it's a concern that it shouldn't happen anywhere, regardless of that, but it was in the hopes of creating additional access down on the waterfront. And that's and I'll kind of tag that to your previous question. That all waterfront and community access should be for everybody, and it should be accessible to everyone at any given time. And so I don't know how to enforce the current zoning and statutes for that. We need to work on that as a community in the town, not just in Sabino, but everywhere. Because I know that over in Bull Rock, people have been leaving their floats and other items in the parking lot, untethered. So there's different issues at different areas. And I think as a community, we need to address it as a whole and find out, A, how to enforce it properly, and make sure that every community member has the same access rights as everybody else. That answer both your questions, I'm sorry.
Yes,
Okay.
thanks.
Okay, anyone else? All right, thank you very much, candidates. And thank you all for your questions. We do have